proposition's greatest fear today is that for the next 10 years, under side proposition model, those countries will remain dependent and reliant on aid and the people would have no sustainable means to improve their livings. And we disagree on the point that they can actually build up infrastructure within the countries. We think the side opposition today is actually going to create a more attractive workforce to draw in foreign investments, improve the country, whereas side proposition would make the citizens whereas side proposition's government would actively allow government to make their citizens illiterate, uneducated, and unable to serve and unable to be any attractive workforce to serve the needs of globalization. So before I move on to my arguments, I have few rebuttals to make. We need about starvation under side proposition. They have been saying that there is a need to tackle starvation, but we disagree because we think that aid has been given to those sub-Saharan countries for a long time, and we have seen no improvement within those countries. We think that in order to better tackle the problems, you need to address the systematic famine. We have seen problems in droughts. And we think that in order to better tackle the problems, those people need to learn about irrigation techniques. They need to know about advanced knowledge in order to accommodate to the changing environment. And we think that this is going to be better for those people in sub-Saharan countries. And the problems in today's debate, we do not think that we are going to let those the main flaw under side proposition is that the younger generation, the children of those farmers who are starving, of those poor people who are starving, will be trapped in the same vicious cycle like their parents, and they are doing nothing in order to improve the quality of life of those younger generations. And we think that that is a tangible harm coming from side proposition. On my second rebuttal, about business opportunities that would be derived under side proposition. They claim that even if people are educated, they would come out and become taxi drivers. But we disagree on that point. It is the problem of your education. They are talking about education that is shoddy, that is substandard. But we do not think that just because education is shoddy, that means that we have to eliminate the whole system of education. That means that we have to improve the quality of education. We have seen how Japan has actually implemented the fundamental code of education. No single family in the country would be illiterate, and no single member in the community would be uneducated. And we think that this really contributes to the economic growth in Japan, how it makes Japan of the country. And we think that business opportunities can be derived under side opposition. And they have been claiming that the students will not go to school because they have no incentive. But however, we side opposition can make universal primary education, we can make the economic benefits clear to the families. Because if you look at the families, the poor families, we think that the parents have been stuck in the lowest rank of the social ladder, and they actually want to move upward. They do not want to be stuck in the same level. They do not want to be afflicted with poverty, and that they want their children to move up, to be something better, to be doctors, to be professors, to provide better means to sustain the life of the family. And we do not think that our side would provide better incentive by making the economic benefits clear. We think that those children will go to school, and we think that please sit down. On my third rebuttal, we think that we will side proposition will further widen the economic gap between social classes, because they are actually doing nothing in order to equip the lower ranks of the society with any sustainable means to improve their lives. So move on to my argument, which is about how universal primary education is a foundation to address pressing issues in society. We think that side proposition today has disregarded other pressing problems within the society. On the first level, there is inequality between classes, inequality between genders. We think that under our side, we are going to make education universal, which means that it will be accessible by every citizen in the country regardless of their genders. And we think that our side, for example, girls will go to school. We have seen programs in Kenya that the schools actually pay dowry to the girls so that the girls can go to school. We think that our side would provide any group in the society as much opportunity as anyone to enter the workforce, to pursue higher education, and we think that equality would be achieved, and we think that that is going to benefit the country. On the second level, when they talk about how, please sit down, about improve, on the second level, about the problems in society's health, we think that right now in those developing countries, there are problems such as high child mortality rates, maternal health that is worsening, and HIV and AIDS and malaria. We think that these problems can be tackled effectively under side opposition's model. We have told you. Yes.
So why can you say that with just learning alphabet, such as malaria or HIV can be prevented by such as poor people?
That's what I'm talking about. When children are educated since early age about the prevention methods of malaria, they would know that the reason why, for example, diarrhea spreads is because of the water is contaminated. So when the younger children learn at the early age, they can grow up and will not be affected by malaria. We think that this is going to be more more sustainable under side opposition, and we think that, for example, in India, women's education and in India, we have seen how women who are educated will have more probability to raise their children to live past the age of 5. We think that there are other pressing problems in the society that the side proposition has ignored, and we think that it can be effectively tackled under side opposition. On the third level, we can create environmental sustainability. We think that right now in developing countries, the water sources have been destroyed. People do not understand about the harms of destroying environments. So what side opposition would do, we will make education accessible, and we would inform them about the benefits and preservation of diversity. We think that people would be both incentivized and disincentivized to maintain the environmental sustainability within their countries, and we think that in the long run, side opposition is going to tackle the social needs, and therefore we are proud to oppose. Thank you.